One thing that has completely changed my business, that has allowed us to generate multiple millions in revenue. And it's probably going to surprise you because, yes, it is AI, but it's not the kind of AI that you're thinking. It is actual interaction. And our guest today is one of my dearest friends, one of my most favorite cuckoo birds on the planet in the best way possible. I like to say that way back in the day, he and I had our own vaudevillian show together. You may not know what I'm talking about, but I will tell you that this amazing human who's about to come on the screen, he is known as the captain. So we're going to get him on camera with me in just a moment. And then I'm going to give you a little bio of the amazing captain. Ta-da! There he is, Captain Lou. I am so grateful for you. And I'm so excited for you to be here with our members on Zoom, be here streaming onto YouTube. And I'd love to give a little fancy bio before we jump into going rogue. Is that okay? Sounds good? Okay, so I'm going to read this fancy bio from Captain Lou, and I'm actually very excited because it has one of the secret things that you may not know about him, but it is the thing that when we first met, my husband was the most excited about. So Captain Lou, also known as Lou Edwards, produces seminars, workshops, training, cruises for companies, organizations, and other affinity groups. So we initially met on the Marketer's Cruise. He helps to run the Marketer's Cruise. I have met so many amazing humans on the Marketer's Cruise. Many of you are here on this call right now. And he also runs fun theme cruises for multi-generation family reunions, collectors, murder mysteries, U.S. Marine Corps veterans, martial arts enthusiasts, and more. So when it comes to building partnerships and relationships, I'm telling you, this guy knows what he's talking about. Now, here's a little secret news you may not know about. Captain Lou was actually orphaned as a teenager, and so he ran away from home to join Vince McMahon's Worldwide Wrestling Foundation. What? And became New York's youngest radio program producer, talk show host / ring announcer. And when my husband found this information out, Lou, you know this, but John Dominguez literally lost his mind. So against all odds, this 8th grade dropout who's never seen the inside of a high school went on to start several businesses and has since lectured at colleges and now speaks on stages around the world. His message is how leaders like you can cruise the world for free with their own highly fun special events at sea while earning thousands of dollars for yourself, your company, your organization, or charity. And underneath all the magic that he's doing out there with these cruise ships, there are some serious strategies. I have had the awesome pleasure of emceeing these events with Captain Lou, and dude, I'm so stoked about what you're going to bring us today. So please put your hands together for the amazing Captain Lou. Hello.
Molly, how am I ever? Ahoy there, mateys. Molly, how am I ever going to live up to that introduction, which, by the way, was 80% of my presentation. So thanks, folks, and see you next time.
Not true.
You just did about 9 out of my 10 reveals. So I hope, as usual, people were multitasking and not paying attention.
Well, you have so much that you are going to share. So we are so excited. I know I'm going to actually switch my camera so I can sit down and take some notes, but I will be here as you jump in and share the magic with everyone.
Molly, I have to ask, you started out saying that in a previous life, we might have been a vaudevillian pair, on the stage, maybe in the 1920s.
I believe it.
I just saw Charlie Chaplin's The Gold Rush, the original cut from 1925. And so that could have been us. But let me ask you, would we have been Burns and Allen or more like Lucy and Ricky?
I think we're more like Lucy and Ethel, actually, but I'm just kidding.
Now, am I Ethel?
I don't know.
Oh, my goodness.
We're more like Lucy and Ricky.
Lucy and Ricky. I have to tell you and everybody watching and listening at home that I'm on about 4 hours sleep. Now, you'll appreciate this. Last night, would you do this? I know you would. Phyllis and I drove 2.5 hours upstate to what's ranked #1 amphitheater in the country. It's called Bethel Woods, the site of Woodstock, 1969.
Oh,
It's
cool.
in the middle of nowhere. Would you drive 2.5 hours to see Josh Groban and the
Ah,
symphony orchestra do the songs of stage, screen, and symphony?
You,
Would you drive 2.5 hours each way for a 1.5 hour show?
you know what? That sounds amazing. And actually, I think my friend Marty Thomas was one of the backup singers in that concert because I know he did it at Madison Square Garden too, which is
Yes.
so awesome.
So
So
yeah, so
good.
I knew you'd appreciate that because I know you love the arts and
I
theater
do.
and musicals and show tunes.
I
And
do.
yeah,
I
that is
do. So, and I know that's so awesome. And I know that from everyone that's here today, you guys know that I love a good like sh- sh- I love to have fun. I believe the more fun we have, the more money we make. And if you don't know the story, which I'm sure Lou maybe you'll tell a little bit about it, but I ended up stepping in very last minute to be the MC with Lou on the last Marketers Cruise. And I think the world had no idea what they were in for with the two of us. So it was so much fun. And I'm just so grateful for you. So I can't wait to what you have to share with us today.
Molly, I also want to congratulate you on the upward trajectory of your business and all that you've been doing this past year. You are the energizer, marketer, AI, guru, grand high exalted, mystic ruler of all things AI. And now I heard through the grapevine or Facebook that you're actually doing one of my childhood dreams. If I only hadn't dropped out of 8th grade, I always wanted to be a teacher.
Ooh, yes. So I actually just commented on an old post when I was teaching at a high school and it bumped it back up. So I did teach social media for a year at our local arts high school, which
Oh, that's an
it was an
old
old
thing.
post, but everybody was commenting. That's one of my secret social media tricks is if you comment on old posts, just be careful. Don't comment on posts where you're announcing that you're pregnant because that really confuses people. So
I do want to say after a big lunch, I'm not pregnant, but I do feel a little bit like a pregnant string bean.
okay.
But
Now you guys see what
okay.
we're in for. Hey, I have a question too, because I know you have a lot to cover. Will we have
Yes.
some time for questions at the end?
It depends. Hopefully,
Okay,
yes.
great. Perfect. So I have a hard stop in 2 hours, y'all. Lou is going to jump in and go through stuff. So if you have questions that come up, I can go caca and interrupt. So if you have questions, drop them in the chat, put a Q in the front. This really is here for our community as a conversation as well. So Lou's got loads that he's going to share.
And as I like to say on the Marketers Cruise, we want this to be a dialogue, not just a monologue. And although I've got a PowerPoint combined, original PowerPoint combined with Chat GPT slides in the middle of the night, tell you about that in a moment. You could rate and review those. Uh, it has, it's a dialogue. It's a
Awesome.
conversation. That's not just with you, Molly, but with everybody that's
Great.
participating.
That is
Okay,
the
so
way we love it. Okay, I'm gonna take myself down and let you take over, and I'll be in the chat.
so let's see if
Amazing.
we click here and we say from beginning,
Woohoo!
and we move this up here, then we could see you and I together. Now, that was a magical moment on this past January's Marketers Cruise.
I
Where
still can't believe they captured that photo.
look at it, a perfect capture, right? Um, and you were the person chosen by the audience. Well, first of all, you were one of 3 people, 2 or 3 people, and at the last minute, we talked about you stepping in for Tom Beal on the Marketers Cruise, and then we asked the audience to decide, and you did a little song and dance of your own, Molly. For those of you that were there with us, you saw it live in real time, and the audience went wild for Molly. No shock there, and you became our MC
It was so
right,
fun.
right on the spot. And
Hey,
and
and if
and
you were with us on the Marketers Cruise and you're here watching, just drop the word cruise in the chat because I know we have lots of friends who were.
absolutely. So today's presentation, AI 2.0, actual interaction with human beings and creating partnerships with like-minded souls who share similar goals. Now, so yeah, I own a company called Special Events at Sea. I'm the CFO, the chief fun organizer, but not as much fun as Molly can be. But I certainly will try. Now, let's meet the real Captain Lou. Now, how many of you remember this guy? And Molly hinted about this. JD went a little nuts when he heard that I used to work with Captain Lou Albano back in the late 70s, the WWF wrestler and manager of champions back then, along with Classy Freddie Blassie, Andre the Giant, George the Animal Steel, Polish Power, Ivan Putski. And so I was, at that time, the voice of the Monday Night Wrestling Show on WHBI FM, New York City. And this was a talk show before I was of age to even sign the contract with the radio station. My dad had to come down and sign the contract. So I was New York's youngest producer, radio program producer. I think I was 16 years old when I got into it. And my first interview of 601-pound Haystacks Calhoun led to a 4-year career on the road with the wrestlers. I think those are the guys that helped me overcome my shyness and taught me some sales strategies, because if you watch pro wrestling, you'll see it's all about story. It's like a soap opera. The wrestling is secondary, but they really sell the feuds, the matches, the storyline. And that's where it all started for me. And I think that's why JD became an instant fan, right, Molly?
Yeah, man, he could not have been more excited about that news.
Now, by the way, let me go back. So for 4 years, I'm ring announcing, I'm doing a radio show, color commentary, I'm doing interviewing wrestlers backstage, on the road, going to all the big matches, press passes into the green room. This was what coming of age when you're like age 16 to 20, right? And then right before Hulk Hogan came on the scene and Vince McMahon Jr., who bought the company from his dad and turned it into a multi-billion-dollar global juggernaut, before that happened, I got out of wrestling. Why? Because all my well-meaning friends and what was left of my family said, Lou, wrestling will never be big. The champion, Bruno Sammartino, only earns $100,000 a year. You're working for like $50 a night, ring announcing, and making $100 here and $100. I said, that's not bad for a kid, But back in the late 70s, you've got to get a real job. Stop. And wrestling was on the UHF. How many of you remember UHF TV channels before Channel 9 and before the networks and before, cable and streaming? Wrestling was a cult audience, and it wasn't big like it is today. So you got to get a real job. And so I got out of wrestling right before Hulk Hogan came on the scene, and WrestleMania and Cyndi Lauper and all of that. Timing is everything. I had none of it. But the moral of the story, Molly, is really never take advice from people whose lives you wouldn't want to have.
Mm.
How many people tell you how many people should on you?
Oh, yeah.
What you should be doing. What have they done?
Nothing.
Nothing. So I regret, so, that was it. And I listened and I got out. Otherwise I'd be some wacky wrestling manager now. I'm still a wacky Captain Lou in the next career. And that name is an ode and homage to my dear old friend, may dearly departed, may rest in peace, Captain Lou Albano, manager of champions. So that's the backstory on that. My next crazy career change for the next 20 years, 1980 to 2000. So I became New York's only straight, as in heterosexual, interior decorator. Now, Molly gets that instantly. Actually, the specialty was window treatments. And even then I knew that the riches were in the niches that had to nichify. And so in window treatment sales, specifically, blinds, your windows. By the way, Molly, how do you make a Venetian blind?
I have ideas, but I'm going to let you land that punchline.
Poke him in the eyes.
Oh, I was going to say stab him with a fork in the eye was what I thought, but poke him in the eyes a much better landing.
And if you don't buy verticals from us, It's going to be curtains for you. But so anyway, I had the phone number 888 blind man, because before Little Shop of Cruises, there was Little Shop of Blinds. So I wanted for branding a vanity plate that was blind man plates. And I call up the Department of Motor Vehicles in New York City, and I ask, and I apply for the blind man plates, and my application gets rejected, saying that it would be too offensive to blind people. I call them up and say, that. How would they know?
Oh, well, moving on.
So they didn't give me my blind man plates, but they did approve these.
Oh, this feels very on brand. I love it.
Yes. So, as Billy Joel said, it just may be a lunatic you're looking for.
Yes, I love that
for
song.
The last several decades, I've been driving around most of the time in a Sebring convertible. Yes, folks, I was having my midlife Chrysler.
Mm-hmm.
With my lunatic plates. Now, why lunatic? Who in their right mind, Molly, would give up a cash cow business paying 40, 50, 60, and 70% margins, all cash back in the day in the 5 boroughs of New York City, to go into an industry that's on the downslide, travel agents that earn 10 or 12% gross, which is very gross. And most travel agents work 60 hours a week to make $23,492 a year. And they deal with a lot of stress. So, as Molly, as God is my witness, I am that lunatic.
You are.
I am. And that was, I said, because it's now o'clock. If I did that.
Well, and also, I mean, the big part of what we're here to do is really help people identify what it is they would love. And so when you're making those choices based from a place of what you would love, all kinds of magic unfolds. So I'm glad you made the choice.
Molly just said something very, very important, because back in my day with the Depression era mentality, my dad was born on Friday, the 13th of December, 1897. 1897.
Wow.
He had me at age 62. My mom was born on Friday, April Fool's Day of 1918. She was 20 years younger. I was a change of life baby. And growing up with that Depression era mentality, which I'll talk about a little bit more, sets your financial thermostat for success.
Yeah.
Or not. There was never any talk about fulfillment, passion, mission statements. There was get a job, keep your nose to the grindstone, work your whole life, make a good living, set a little bit aside, and hopefully have a pension plan. There was nothing about entrepreneurship, creativity, or following your dreams. In fact, that was downright evil and satanic. Right, Molly?
I mean, I hear that from so many people. I am lucky to have grown up with a totally crazy father who was his own version of a lunatic. So all I've ever known is possibility. And my dad was basically Willy Wonka. So it's so interesting the ways that our initial, understanding and our worldview affects everything that we're doing. So I'd love to know in the chat, what did you grow up knowing as your own version of those foundational lessons? One of the things that I learned growing up, Lou, and I don't think I've told you this, but my dad is just so awesome. And he bought a tree trimming business when he was 17, which is crazy enough as it is. But so I grew up knowing that money grows on trees because we had a tree trimming business as a kid growing. And we still do have a tree trimming business, but
talking about speaking truth to power. Money does grow on trees.
It does. I know. My mom always made that joke when I was little, but I mean, there's all kinds of, he always says that he manages by luck, which is Gay Hendricks is one of my dear friends and a mentor that I look up to. And Gay has a book called Conscious Luck. And I think that we really can make that happen. So yeah, Dr. Rachel saying she was told doctor, lawyer, stay the course. do it if this is what you want. My parents own their own business, Cynthia, too. So it's interesting the different things that we grew up. Bev's was an electrical contractor with his own business his entire life. So super interesting to see that difference. I love it.
Love it, love it, love it. So the importance of writing down your goals. For me, it was to help fulfill people's dreams and fantasies. So this is when, after 20 years, I wanted to make a career change. I
Yeah.
was tired of being the blind man. And
Mm.
if not now, when, and if not me, who? And it becomes harder later in life to make a total career change yet for a third time, going from
Yeah.
wrestling to window treatments and now to what? So I wanted to do something that was more fulfilling than measuring windows and showing fabric swatches. I also wanted to earn enough money online so that when I lose the rest of my hair, women will still find me attractive. Yes, I look like Larry David these days.
I never see you without a hat either.
And you never will again. So please, let's edit that out of the presentation.
You look great. You look great.
But Molly, actually, you know that I've been with Phyllis for 34 years, and she's the only one that still to this day finds me attractive and sometimes humorous.
I love
So
her.
that's all I need. But honestly, so I just I wanted to make people happy and also be in warm places. So, Internet Lifestyle 1.0 was you stood at home hiding behind your computer. We're going back decades now. You submit JV proposals to strangers by email. Back then, I didn't have any idea what JV meant or even the term joint venture. And long before the world of AI, you'd work for months building a website, no AI assistance, and wait patiently for the world to beat a path to your door. This is the way we did it back then.
Yeah.
You remember that?
I
And
do.
that's
And the
the
dial up sound that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and that was very frustrating. Now, how many of you guys and gals have had that CRT computer monitor back in the day? That was either green, right? Show hands, green DOS or the orange, right? And how many here? No, I can't see the chat, but you could tell me,
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Molly. How
Edward says he had
many?
two of them. And
Okay,
Bev had a bag phone in her car. I remember I remember when I got my first car phone, it was a really big deal. I was like one of the only people at my school who had one.
yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, how many of you here can remember the first game the first video game, the very first video game that you could play on that computer, on that green or orange computer?
I
Somebody
mean,
type it into the chat box if you know the answer.
I'm going to say Oregon Trail, but I know that's late. Pong is what everyone's guessing. Pong, Pac-Man.
Pong is the right answer. Give them a prize. Pong
The
is the
Pong,
right
you all win. Alan Thomas are showing that we were a little late to the party. I don't know. Alan
answer.
said Oregon Trail with me, but that Pong was first. I love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Internet Lifestyle 2.0 was online conference events like this on Zoom. So congratulations, everybody. You are here with Molly and Captain Lou and friends. And that's important that you take your time on the middle of the afternoon, or if you're watching back on replay or streaming somewhere later on. Appreciate those that are here live, though. This is what I learned about marketing by following Woody Allen's advice. Who remembers what Woody Allen said about success?
Oh, I actually do know this quote, and I have a funny story about this quote, but I don't remember what it is. But I do know.
Someone's going to beat you in
Yeah,
the chat there
I
for the
know. I
quote.
can't remember exactly, but I once sent this quote out to my list via text message, and I'll follow up with the story later.
Did anyone get it yet?
No.
Okay, so Woody Allen said 80% of success is just showing up.
Yes.
Just showing up. I think that when I write my next fourth book, because the first three were all about cruising, it'll be called Too Stupid to Fail. like Forrest Gump running through life and the world into adventures by just happenstance. I just showed up, and I'll tell that story, which was the next transformation of my life and my business, 23 years later, right?
Yeah, so
And
we
I'll tell
actually
you,
had a show called the Show Up Show. So I had sent that quote out via text message, and then I had a dash Woody Allen. And what I didn't realize is it actually changed my name in people's phones to Woody Allen, as if Woody Allen was texting them because of the way that I wrote that, which got me into some trouble. So just so you know, when you send a text message with a quote, don't put the person's name right there with their name there. But I do, we have a whole thing, like we've got hats that say show up, we have mugs that say show up, showing up. We have something called the Show Up Summit. Like I fully am with you on the showing up.
now I don't know the level of the room we're in right now,
Yeah.
Molly, in terms of um, 6-figure, 7-figure online entrepreneurs, wannabe future success stories. We won't say newbies. They're not newbies. They're future success stories. But there's many ways to skin the internet cat. I love cats and dogs. But this is just to inspire everyone.
Yeah.
How on January 30th of 2003, 23 years ago, I think, 24 years, almost 24 years ago, how I became the cruise event guru without a plan, without a product, without a list, or even a clue, by just showing up to a live conference in Dallas, Texas called the Big Seminar and creating Captain Lou.
You
And
just showed
so
up as the captain.
I wasn't even Captain Lou back then. And I still had hair before I embarked on a cruise to no hair. So, and there I am, the Love Boat. That's got to be AI, right? Okay, so thank you, Molly. So one thing I always had, even more than confidence, is even more than competence is confidence. So I knew that, give me a chance and I'll get it.
Yeah.
And I'll do it. And my parents did instill in me that I could do anything that I put my mind to. I think, Molly, so did yours.
Yeah, same. I definitely am grateful for that. But I know it's not something that comes easy to a lot of people. And I think then they see crazies like us and they think, oh, well, you just have had that since, whatever. But I don't know what you think about it, but I do think that is a skill set that you can learn. And it is something that takes practice. So, so yeah, not everybody feels comfortable just jumping into the party, but I know that it is a skill set that can be learned.
Yeah, contrary to what Lady Gaga says, I was not born this way.
Yes, correct.
Right? So
Yeah.
yes, everything is a skill and takes time and is experience. Like I like to say, blood, sweat, and years.
Yes.
It took me 25 years to become an overnight success, right?
Yeah. I even have a book called Choose Confidence. I don't know if you know that. It's like a collaboration book about all the different ways to be able to show up and choose confidence in every moment. So, yeah.
Folks, when Molly showed up on the stage, on the grand stage of the Marketers Cruise in year number 19 this past January, she was just shining, glowing, dancing, clicking her heels together, and never at a loss for words, kind of like me. And instantly, the confidence that she exudes and glows. But you already know that confidence and that gets better as time goes on, and also as you grow your business and become more successful, because then you don't feel that you're a fraud because you actually have some success under your belt, right?
And it can be contagious too. So when you show up, like for everybody that's here, when you show up letting your freak flag fly, when you show up letting your confidence shine through, it inspires others to be more confident also.
So what you're saying, Molly, is that confidence is contagious.
Yes, I agree.
Yes. So I'm there. Actually, I want to go back. I'll tell you what happened on a break at Armin Morin's big seminar in Dallas, Texas. Now, I just went there to learn about this little thing. I thought the whole thing was just a total scam. Internet marketing. Who in their right mind will ever put their credit card in to some web page, to a nameless, faceless web page to buy something online? to buy a multi-$1,000 travel package. This has got to be a pipe dream. But you know what? I'm going to continue that dream. Let's find out what this is all about, right? And I just wanted to learn. Remember, I was still in the blinds business. I just wanted to learn, what's this all about, this internet marketing? And remember, this was before Google and before Amazon and before everything.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, and now look at it. We've got robots buying things for us. So wild.
Amazing. Yeah, this was before video conferencing, before Zoom, before Gmail, before everything. Wow. And those people were the real pioneers. And sitting in the audience with me was Ryan Dice and Jeff Walker and Russell Brunson. They all were like 18 years old. And
So cool.
Ryan and Russell looked like they were 16. But and we're in the audience and we're learning from each other and from the speakers. And wow, that was so exciting. On one of the breaks, a woman named Holly says, "Psst, Captain Lou, Captain Lou." I don't even think I was really Captain Lou then, yet fully branded. She says, "Want to do a JV? Want to do a JV?" I said, "What?" She said, "A joint venture." And it was loud in the room. I didn't know. What did you say? Would you like to do a joint venture? I didn't hear the second word, Molly.
Oh my gosh.
I thought she was asking me to do a joint with her in the bathroom.
Let's make sure everybody knows what a joint venture is. So when you hear a JV partner, do you know what that is? Tell me in the chat. When you hear somebody wanting to be a JV, would you, if someone said joint venture, would you know what they meant? Or would you be like, where am I? What is this proposition, right? So it's when you are partnering on something where they're promoting you and you're promoting them. Yes, exactly. Dr. Rachel says, sounds suspicious.
Sounds like, yeah. So I thought the same thing. But what is this wacky woman asking me to do a joint with her?
Oh my gosh.
Not a joint, Captain Lou, a joint venture. Let me take you to lunch and I'll explain my proposal. Okay, so now I'm going to get an indecent proposal if somebody wants to smoke a joint with me. But I'm not going to give up a free lunch. So I said yes. And what I'm about to reveal actually changed my life. Remember, I said without a product, without a list, or even a clue. So this Holly at lunch says to me, as a marketer, I wish that there was a tropical island where I could just hang out in a relaxed atmosphere, not as a guru or a student, but in a mastermind group of my peers, helping to build each other's businesses through friendships first. A place where everyone knows where I'm coming from. Captain Lou, could you take this kind of seminar or weekend conference and put this on a luxury cruise ship so we could have meetings in a hot tub on the Lido deck at sunset while sailing away to some exotic island in the Caribbean or Bahamas or Mexico, sipping a pina colada and sharing marketing best practices? Is that something that you could help me put together? Now, Molly and friends here, having never at that moment done even so much as a family group reunion on a cruise ship, just kind of dabbling in the space. My wife went to travel school to learn how to be an agent, and I figured I'd go find out some stuff, get some ship for her, find out the stuff. And never having ever done anything like this in my life, I'm the, pound the pavement sales guy in the 5 boroughs of New York selling blinds, brick and mortar. But in that moment, I said to Holly, you go gulp. I said, I think I can help you with that. In fact, now I paused. Now get this, folks. I paused and looked her straight in the eye and said, in fact, that's my specialty.
I love it.
And in that moment, Molly, my life changed, my business model and my life changed on a dime forever. I want to ask everybody here, was I faking it till I make it? Or was I acting as if?
I would say, let's do a little, okay, what do you think in the chat? Do you consider that faking it till you make it? Or do you consider that in the chat acting as if? This is actually a strategy that we talk about a lot because oftentimes, and I've never heard you tell this story before, but oftentimes I hear people who really want to have everything worked out perfectly before they sell something. And I
Right.
have a course way back in the day called Sell It First, where it's really like if
Yes.
you can show up with your expertise and look for moments like this when people say what they want and you can realize, oh, yes, I could solve that. But then you have the, the nerve to really actually lean into it and say, why, yes, that's my specialty. That takes it to a whole next level. I love it.
And
I love it.
you go gulp. What did I just commit to? But
Exactly.
if you're a person of your word and integrity, you will follow through and you'll find a way to make it happen.
Yeah, I love it.
It's do or die. And I did, and I didn't die. And 9 months later, we had the very first annual affiliate marketing. It was on affiliate marketing cruise mastermind. And let me share with everyone that I did everything wrong. Now, you know how you could see the chinks in the armor, the flaws in your own making.
Right.
And you could do comedians have this affliction that they could get a standing ovation and people are cracking up, but they hear that one heckler in the back and they think they bomb because you take everything so personally. And I really didn't have the skill set, the experience of the 20 plus years of experience I now have. And I thought I really screwed up royally. I really felt like a fake, a phony, and a fraud. I went back to my cabin at the end of the cruise, and I just wanted to break down and cry, crawl into the fetal position, and hide under the bed so that nobody can find me and tell me what a crappy job I did putting this seminar at sea together. A couple of hours later, I got the courage to stumble out of my cabin. Now, I don't drink, so I couldn't even drown my sorrows. I went out and one of our attendees, I didn't realize back then they all have to be participants. They were just attendees, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Came up to me and like, wow, this was fabulous. A high five. And I thought they were talking to, you ever think someone's talking to somebody behind you?
Right, right,
It
right.
couldn't possibly be referring to you. And I'm getting high fives and hugs. This was amazing. We made so many incredible connections, joint ventures. We put we're doing a product launch, a business venture, a swap. I don't know what they're talking about. They're swapping wives. I don't know what they're doing. And it's all because of you. And Captain Lou, when can we do this again? And I'm hearing so no one really cared that the excursions could have gone better, that the schedule of meetings and dinners and shows could have been done a little bit better, that this could be tweaked and that could be tweaked. The overall experience that we delivered set my career in motion. So I wasn't faking it till I make it. I acted as if, and then I'm going to learn. Ready, fire, aim, right? Tarl, take action, revise later. I learned that, so I'm just
Well, and I think that like the idea of ready, fire, aim is really, and I know, do you know who wrote that book? The book Ready, Fire, Aim?
Oh, I did. Remind me.
Well, so I learned later, actually after having read it, that it was really Mark Ford, that he uses a pen name, Michael Masterson or whatever he has as the pen name on that. But so I didn't know that when I read the book, that it's actually it's Mark Ford who wrote it underneath it. But that idea is something that I know people can misconstrue with being an imposter or those types of things that you're talking about. But that's really not what it is. It's really truly trusting your expertise. And we all have to do that at some point. We've got to say yes and then figure it out. Right. And I think if we truly know those things that we are an expert at, and I always love to say, like, you're on the founding member XYZ, like I make that founding member experience the magic of it. And then look where you are today because you were brave enough to show up and trust that and listen to that person and then create that thing. So good.
Now, Molly, deep inside, and I was so excited, but I was still very scared. I still had the depression era mentality and financial mindset that's taken me decades to shed.
Yeah.
that was unfortunately instilled in me by my parents and my upbringing. We were very poor. We were on welfare, on food stamps. Didn't have pair of jeans till I was 18 or 19 years old.
Mm.
Um, Hand-me-downs, slept on a mattress on the floor. Um, had pizza was white, two slices of white bread with some Rice Krispies and ketchup. My mom showed me how to make in the broiler
Ugh.
because we couldn't afford a pizza pie.
Yeah.
So I had nothing. And when my parents died while I was still a teenager and no siblings, because remember, I was only a child, an accidental midlife baby to two parents who couldn't really provide anything other than love.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of grew up with two clenched fists, very scared and hunger in the belly. And it took me until 2009 to give up the blinds business. And I had to wait. How many of you may have day jobs? I'm going to wait until my online marketing that comes close to, meets, or surpasses my day job because I can't leave this. I'm scared. What if everything I'm doing fails? What if it falls flat? And had I had the confidence, the real confidence, I would have just gone full time in 2003. I waited till
Yeah.
2009. So what I'm saying for those that listen, Lou has all this confidence. He's got a multi-million dollar business now. He does cruises all over the world. That's not how it started. And we didn't have the tools, the coaches, the software, the AI, the help now in the industry that maybe won't take someone who's watching this a quarter century to become an overnight success.
Yeah.
So Molly asked me to add some additional content, some meat and potatoes.
I mean, there's
And
been lots of meat and potatoes here too. So many nuggets. Drop your favorite nugget in the chat. And I'm excited for more.
so I did something I haven't done before.
Okay.
I took the dozen bullet points that I gave Tim, Molly's assistant, that's on the call with us now.
Our awesome director of partnerships who loves a good cruise.
Absolutely. And I took those bullets and I asked ChatGPT to create a dozen slides for me to insert right here in the middle so that I could give you even more value for staying on with us this afternoon. At the end of which, I'll ask your permission for Molly and I to do a special. It's not a sale, it's an invitation. It's a warm invitation to something you won't want to miss. Does that sound fair, like a fair trade? I think so.
That sounds so good.
So in terms of content, when you are presenting, always move the free line to the right. If you give them 80% of your secret sauce, you know this, Molly, people will follow you to the ends of the earth or the seven seas and pay you thousands and thousands of dollars for the other 20% and to be part of the camaraderie of a very special community. Case in point, Molly has carefully curated a very special community. I'm speaking to you guys right now. So that's what you want to do with your brand, with your business, and always under promise and over deliver. It says on my business card, we'll go overboard for you and your group. And I do that. So my mission statement was a rising tide has to lift all boats. So that's the metaphor that if we all help each other and be a blessing in each other's lives, all of our businesses can go higher. Does that make sense? I know Molly is totally in tune with this, which is why she fit in so perfectly with the culture that we have on the Marketers Cruise. So what I did many, many years ago is I created along with my partner, Mike Filsame, our co-MC, Tom Beal, our many, many people behind the scenes. It takes a village. But we created something called a format, a formula, and a flow that would be an experiential vacation integrated with profits. Many of you know, or maybe some of you might even run mastermind retreats. This would be a mastermind vacation on a cruise ship. And you can take what I'm sharing with you now and apply it to your own business. What we found worked the best, and I've done this in different niches, is 30% work and 70% play. So if you're getting together for a mastermind, whether it be online or preferably on land, or even more preferably on a cruise ship with me and Molly, you want to give people a chance to organically connect and build true friendships and relationships based upon commonalities. That's why we said we're profitable. Well, we say a few things. We're profitable deals are done while on vacation and having fun, but also it's a group of like-minded souls who share similar goals. That's why a carefully curated community is so important, because then it creates the camaraderie. And I hate this term safe space. I hate it, but I'm going to use it. Safe. It's like, I want a safe space and no one offends me. But you do create that safe space for people to be their authentic selves that you can't be with your neighbors down the hall that would think you're from outer space if you start talking about some of the topics we share here, right, Molly?
Maybe we should call it an outer space space instead of a safe space.
An outer space safe?
I don't know. That didn't work. Never mind. Keep going.
So AI 2.0 is actual interaction, and that's where you create partnerships, you create leverage, and you create freedom. That's what happened for me. So the slides I'm about to show you were created in about 10 seconds through AI, through ChatGPT. I just went in and tweaked them a little bit so that it would have some relevance and not sound so corporate. And the big shift is it's not just AI 2.0 is not just about artificial intelligence. It's about actual interaction. So we all, I think, are on the same page. We want to go from working harder, chasing attention, and building alone to working smarter, creating relationships, and growing together. As I said, it takes a village. So, and be open to, I never worry about competition. I think of co-opetition. We're all cooperating with each other, right? A rising tide lifts all boats. Why can't we all be successful?
Yeah.
No, that's not one. I'm not a part of the Democratic Socialists of America. Okay, so the result when you do that is more reach, more revenue, and more freedom. So rather than selling you a widget one at a time to prospects that are your customers, you want partners to spread the word, partners that love you, that spread your brand, and that you're in alignment with them. So I wanted to run and grow my business while living the laptop lifestyle that I preach. I want to practice what I preach. I designed a business that traveled with me, not one that depends on me being everywhere. But now you could run your business from the Lido deck of that cruise ship that Holly described 23 years ago. Use systems, digital communication, and strategic partnerships to multiply your reach. I don't know how many of you are already doing that. Molly will help you with the AI systems, no doubt. This one's a difficult one because I don't think you could do it that easily on Zoom. Sometimes on land, but late night at the bar, at a seminar that's rushed through a weekend with information overload, not that great either, especially when you have a lot of people pitching their products from the stage. So that's hard. I happen to think the best way are these mastermind vacations on cruise ships that I produce, but I'm a little biased. And you want to measure your success by both revenue and the freedom that your business creates. Because if you're a slave to your business, then you're working, you quit your day job to work harder for the biggest lunatic ever, yourself, right? So the key here is to be in the right rooms, because your environment influences your opportunities. I think, Molly, are they in the right room right now?
I mean, hello.
Rooms, not the local BNI or Toastmasters.
Yes, we were actually talking about this at the event that we just had this weekend. So I hosted I aspire to be more like Captain Lou, so I host pretend cruises in my backyard,
Yes, you
which
do.
is which is awesome and not as good as being on a real ship, to be totally honest, even though I obviously do love our pretend cruises. But we had an event called Camp Co-work that was all camp themed. Some of the members who are there with us are on right now. And we were talking about this, that like sometimes when you are at a BNI event and that kind of stuff, where the refer, and nothing against BNI, because I know that it's great for some people, especially as they're getting started, but it ends up being something where everyone is like forced to be pitching to the same people all the time. And it's hard to come up with new ideas, new collaborations, new partnerships when you are, you know, on a ship. I find, and Gina said this in the chat too, I find that there's so much space for creativity. There's so much space for expansion and like a whole new way of thinking. So, and Lou, I know this will sound like blasphemy, but whether you're getting on a ship or you're getting into a hotel somewhere in the mountains, I love the mountains, but I really respond well to the water. Like when I'm near the water and I'm looking out at that view, like I see different possibilities because I literally see different possibilities. And one of the reasons that I love cruises so much for that is that you can't help but have new ideas because you are literally in a different place every day. It's like amazing.
It really shifts your entire mindset and your mojo. So
Yeah.
yeah, you want to be where the decision makers, creators, and connectors gather. And what's more important, who knows you or who you know?
Mm.
So I've in my life had the opportunity to meet some stars of stage and screen, as I think you have too, Molly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I get in front of it, and in marketing and motivation and so forth, whenever I get in front of a star, a superstar, a guru, a thought leader, I think to myself, wow, they had a chance to meet Captain Lou. This is awesome.
I love that. I love that. What a great nugget. That's so good.
And I immediately place myself as a peer to them,
Mm.
as the preeminent expert in what I do, best in the world at what I do. And I believe it
Yeah, you
because
do.
now I've achieved it. They
Yeah.
say, if you believe it, you will achieve it. Well, now I've achieved it. And so I'm not a kiss the ring, touch the hem kind of person. I let people know right away we're on a level playing field here. I'm very thrilled to meet these stars, but I want them to remember meeting me. How many people stand in line to get a book signing or an autograph? That's not me. I'm no professional line stander. Let's meet in the green room and let's have a little chat. And when you affix your mindset to who is it that needs to know me, who I am, and what I do, there'll be a line of people that want to partner with you. Instead of you being needy and greedy in a seminar groupie and chasing after people that just want to take your money because you're a lead, you're a prospect, you're not a peer. So you have to have the mindset of a peer with the expertise. Because if you're going to have products and services and companies and branding that you're doing online, then you better adjust your mindset. It's taken me years to do that in order to give you this advice. And it's priceless. Once you get to that point, it's so very, very important. Now onto the power of organic joint ventures. On the as an example, on the Marketers Cruise, one of several big ones that I do each year, it's a no selling event. So we don't sell from the stage. So we say no pitching and also no bitching. But that's another story. Because you're on a cruise. No bitching, please. But I'm not here to sell you anything, just to be a blessing in each other's lives. So we ask people to check your egos at the door, because there are some 6, 7, and even 8-figure earners and gurus and stars that are just in the audience, right? They haven't worked their way up to the Molly position yet. Molly is not only now MC and co-host, but she's a group leader that brings her own audience on the group. But the point is, and we'll get to that in a moment, is that you need genuine alignment with great partners, but not a pitch. So you start with shared values audiences and outcomes. When Molly and I had a conversation just a few days before getting on the cruise this past January, was our first really big conversation on the phone in an airport where 8 people were giving me the stink eye for talking too loud and being on speakerphone. The exact type of person I hate, by the way. So yeah, you ever do that? You ever get really mad that somebody thinks that they're in their living room when they're in a cafe or they're at the airport? And here I was guilty of the same exact thing with you, Molly. But anyway, we had an instant synergy, a shared value. And Molly said, "How can I help?"
Agreed.
She didn't say, "What can you do for me?"
Mm.
She said, "How can I help?" And let's create a small win together before building a bigger deal.
You
Got
know,
to
I
think
think
about it.
that is like, it's so simple and it is so hard for people to really understand at a deeper level. And I talk about this often, which I don't think you and I have ever talked about, but I talk about this often, and I'm getting some awesome messages in the chat as well. I I personally believe if we can separate our intention from our objective, like, and maybe you and I did talk about this during that phone call, but there's obviously an objective that we have in building our business. There's something that we're doing that will help us to grow our business on the long run. If you're going to put time, which is your biggest resource, time, money, energy, into something, you have to have a strategic business objective at the end. But if that clouds your intention, so for me, the intention is what comes from your heart and how you're connecting with someone, the value you want someone to get. If you have too much or too little on either side of those, if you have too much of the objective, that's where you become what I call a salesy weirdo, when you're just like pushing. And we've had conversations about this because not everybody gets it, right? Like if you're too salesy, then it starts to turn people off. But conversely, if you come in and you're just like so giving and you never, I have my go make offers mug today, if you never actually make an offer, that can be a problem too. So I think that first by embodying, especially,
Balance, right?
yeah, it's a balance, but especially as we get started, if we can, and when we're looking at like, if you want more speaking engagements, start by saying, how can I help? If you want more, whatever, like, how can I help is a very easy way to make that impression on someone and to earn someone's trust rather than coming in and saying, what can I get from you? So really great distinction there.
Yeah, make the partnership valuable to both audiences. And this is so important what you just said, Molly, because exactly, I used to be that salesy weirdo. Now I'm just a weirdo. Where because I needed the money, I needed to make every sale. I lived or died by the sales that would come in, whether it be window treatments or slip covers or at the beginning or cruises.
Yeah.
And I hadn't yet reached that notoriety and the critical mass where I don't really have to do the dog and pony show anymore. I'm well known enough that people come to me with their audiences. I didn't think big enough because I was too scared, because I was on that constant grind, the hustle and grind of making the sale. Got to make the sale, got to make the sale, got to make the sale. And when and if you're able to get beyond that, you will see how much easier it is to make those sales, to have raving evangelists like the world famous Molly Mahoney make those sales for you and line up to partner with you, not just buy from you. But it's a mindset shift, and it took me a long time.
And it's an
And
energetic shift too that you have to
yeah,
be able to learn to trust.
right, an energetic shift, absolutely, Molly. So I talk about pull marketing instead of push marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll hear me say on the marketers cruise, tell, don't sell, share, don't scare, pull, don't push. Be the cool cat, not the needy, greedy cat, not the feral cat. We have some feral cats that come on the cruise. I don't know how they slip through because pets are usually not allowed. But if you come from the heart, you show your integrity, and you're not that needy and greedy, but you let them know you'd love to do something with them, then trust compounds over time. Certainly, relationships build, and striking that balance, probably deserves a course in its own, Molly.
Agreed. I love it.
Because I'll tell you, when I first met Mike Fulsame, original Butterfly Marketing, 2006, one of the pioneering online gurus, and he came on one of my cruises before the Marketers Cruise, before we teamed up and created the Marketers Cruise. My wife Phyllis invited him to dinner at the steakhouse. We were sitting at a table. We saw him alone walking in. He wasn't with a date. I don't think he was married at the time. And we invited him to come and join us at the table. And we knew who he was and that people were seeking out time with him. And the one thing that Phyllis and I didn't do is be needy or greedy and instantly try to strike up a partnership because he had a big audience at the time. Instead, we asked him questions about his life, his background, his favorite foods, and just small talk over dinner. And the best thing you could do, by the way, when you're with someone that you may want to do business with in the future, is remember that you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Listen more than you speak, and ask questions, because people love talking about themselves.
That is the same on social media also.
Yeah.
Like, you've got 2 eyes and 10 fingers, but that doesn't mean you should talk more with your fingers on social than you do with what you're reading and replying to people. And, we're always wanting to get people to comment on our stuff, but how often are you going and commenting on theirs? So I love that. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Really good.
Yeah. So sometimes just shut up and let the other person speak, and don't interrupt and say, "Oh, that reminds me of when I did the same thing." No. Let them have the stage. Sometimes I'll even say, the stage is yours. And then just shut up and let them speak.
I love it.
In this age of mass communications and swiping right and left on dating apps and all sorts of other stupidity, it's still a very lonely planet. As phone-faced zombies walk past me every day in the New York City area, not making eye contact or seeing the beautiful sunset that's right above their phone that's in their face. It's because they're lonely and they want to be connected. So what can you offer people of connection in real time, eye to eye, and let them shine, give them the stage? Later, I learned how to actually give people real stages to speak in front of hundreds of people. But first, you have to let that one person shine. Now, those friendships that happen organically can turn into partnerships that can last many years, as has between me and Mike. I've worked with Russell Brunson, Amazon e-commerce. Molly mentioned all the different niches that I've been in, cruises around the world. We're doing an international speakers cruise in about a month from now out of Barcelona. Opportunities will come to you. But partnerships can be sinking ships when expectations, economics, and execution are unclear. So, okay, ChatGPT gave me this. Unclear roles. Who owns what? What do I own? What do you own? Misaligned goals. What is success? Whatever success might mean to Molly and me may not mean the same thing to someone else. No scorecard. So we measure it with leaderboards externally so that people who bring us referrals are exalted and edified and acknowledged on a leaderboard, on stage, on social media, everywhere. But also behind the scenes, there's metrics, there's numbers crunching. How do we measure our success? Now, I won't get into an advanced cost per lead, cost per sale, lifetime client value. Molly, I'm sure you know about some of those terms.
Oh, yeah.
I will leave that to Molly and her team for a later date.
I like to say, I have a mug that a friend gave me that says, I'm a lady in the streets and a freak in the spreadsheets. So I can handle all the data. That is something.
Wait. You're a lady in the sheets?
No, a lady in the streets and a freak in the spreadsheets.
I like that. Oh, I love that. I love that. That's like my old favorite wrestler, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, that said, I've wined and dined with kings and queens, and I've slept in alleys eating pork and beans.
Exactly.
So I know hard times. But anyway,
Awesome. Yeah, so we can come back. We can come back to those, like the data on the back end. But it is true that you want to have clear goals. You want to make sure that you are tracking all of that, and as you move it forward. So I love it. We don't want sinking ships.
you don't want sinking ships. And then week follow through. Who does what and by when? Set a date, put it on your Calendly. When you're on the marketers cruise, set 10, 20, 30 dates out of the 400 people there and follow up, follow through. Gentle nudges, don't be a nudge, just gentle nudges. So leveraging other people's lists. Oh boy, we went wild here, didn't we? So you don't OPL, other people's lists. You do not always need a bigger audience. You need better access. What do we sell with all of my cruise conferences and masterminds? We sell proximity and access. So you need better access, right? So this is probably stuff you guys all know. We have your product or service, your list, your community, and your channels, and their audience. Aligned people, shared interests. Once you have established trust, and that produces the leverage of more reach, less friction, faster growth. I couldn't do these mastermind cruises with hundreds and hundreds of people. These are $1 million weeks, by the way. Every cruise that I do, and I do several throughout the year, is $1 million or sometimes $2 million project. And it takes a village.
Well, and I think oftentimes a lot of people will think, oh, my list isn't big enough to be considered for this, or, they'll hold back on this because they think that they have to have, list shame is a real thing. And years ago, I was treated so poorly by someone on a partnership thing like this, who now, because I had a smaller list, and now there has been times where she has just like really hardcore tried to follow up with me about partnering on things, and I've said no. And finally I had to say, the way you treated me when I was getting started told me that this isn't ever going to be a good fit, and I wish you the best. I have no hard feelings, and no. But
right.
So it's a thing. And I also know there were so many times that I did partnerships and I did the promotion stuff with other people where I had the smallest list, but I made the most sales because of the community of, similar souls with like-minded goals, or however you say it. Even though it was a smaller number, it had bigger results because the humans are so awesome, and because of the relationships that we've curated and built, and the trust that we have built in our community too. So I totally agree.
Right. Sometimes a small group of a perfect synergistic audience can produce more profits and partnerships than a large one. Right. Exactly right. So to that lady that brushed you off at the very beginning, I bet she wishes she didn't right now.
Yeah. I mean, right? And I really do have no hard feelings, but I'm never going to partner with her on anything. So
everybody write this down. I have it on my wall somewhere, on another wall. Go where you are celebrated, not merely tolerated.
Yes.
Go where you are celebrated, not merely tolerated. And in a moment, I'll show you how to qualify those partners and qualify your customers. You only deal with wonderful people like Molly and friends. So this is something that took me a while to learn. My guests on my mastermind cruises are no longer attendees. They're participants that hopefully will turn into leaders. So whatever you're doing, whether it's online Zooms or in-person events, or come on one of my cruises like the Marketers Cruise, as an attendee, you consume, you observe, you collect business cards. That is not AI 2.0. But if you start out as a participant on a level playing field where you're a peer, not a prospect, and you contribute and you engage and you share and you connect and you create value. Molly, were you on the cruise 2 years before I asked you to MC, or was it just once?
No, it may even have been. It was definitely at least 2. It may have even been 3. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe. Because I purchased my first Marketers Cruise before 2020, and then that all happened, and then that's when I did my pretend cruise, and then we didn't go on the one in 2021. So 22, 23, 24, 25. So it was 3 years before I. Oh, no. The 26 is when I emceed. So maybe it was 3 years before. Yeah. Four
Something like that.
years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, oh, really? Okay. So Carol thinks it's your fifth year. I think it's your third, but okay.
I think Carol's right. I mean, which probably is the way.
So you quickly went from an attendee to a participant because you were eager to share when we would call people up on stage and say, can you share a tip, a trick, a hot link, a cool tool, a burning question? Can you help somebody that needs an introduction, etc.? And you were networking on mic in front of 400 people. And then you went to being a leader. And a leader, when you elevate people to be leaders, you allow them to invite others. This elevates their status. They're not just affiliates or super affiliates. They're part of your partner program. So now you create a partner program, and then Molly's part of our partner program. And we have a dozen. There's only one Molly in the whole world because she's one in a million, but we have a dozen partners that all contribute to make our events a success. So you want to have the mindset that everyone's a participant. And it not just be guru student, it's peer-to-peer, it's network, it's a level playing field. And those participants should want to be leaders. Not everyone does.
And this
that's
is one
okay.
thing that you do so well. And I think we can all learn from this. And I know it seems impossible, but impossible things are happening every day. So, and I'm a full blown possibilitarian, but at the, at your events, and y'all, like for reals, how can you do this in your own events or when you go attend events? You give stage time to every single person in the room. I have never been at an event where they do that, but I have been at events where they say, okay, we're going to do a Q&A on the mic, and people don't get up and ask questions. I was at a high level event and there was someone from OpenAI there. And when they opened the room for questions, I legitimately flew to that microphone. I had no idea what I was going to ask, but I was like, this is my moment to get FaceTime and stage time with someone from OpenAI. Get out of my way. And so you do this in such a way that makes it really easy for people to share. You give everyone the chance to be able to speak, and it's such an awesome opportunity. So I love the fact that you do that. Most people would think you're a lunatic because you are, and it's so good.
Well, yeah, I say it's not my event. It's all of your. It's not my marketing because it's yours. So let's get everybody up here to do your 30-second elevator speech, but several other opportunities to participate. You're a participant, not just an attendee. And eventually you'll want to become a leader. And my formula has been replicated on other cruise events. And I would hope land events as well, because it's a formula that works. So I've got a gazillion more slides and only about 20 minutes left here. And we may go a little over. So we'll race through some of these. So how to maximize your ROI through networking leverage. One meaningful connection can create a chain reaction, and it has. You really want to identify connectors, people who naturally introduce, refer, and convene. Who is it that's one of my favorites? Virginia Muskies.
Yeah.
The ultimate referrals. What's her tagline, Molly?
I don't remember, but I know she's great at partnerships.
Yeah, she introduces people and creates incredible joint ventures. Even if she can't be part of them, she's happy to introduce people that are good for each other. I'll give you an example. This morning, somebody sent in an application to partner with me, and we'll talk a little bit about that if we have time. I have something that I created called a proposal reversal, where instead of me sending out proposals to potential prospects, they send their proposal to me to partner with me to bring their audience to me. That's a whole nother seminar. But someone this morning wanted to do a singles cruise for about 30 people. Now, 25 years ago, even before that first cruise story I told you about, I tried to do a singles cruise, and let me tell you, never again. Selling half a cabin equals a whole problem. Roommates, pickle people, they cancel, they break up, they come back to the cruise, they meet somebody. It's a nightmare.
Yes.
So I don't want that project. So I'll introduce that person to someone who doesn't mind that amount of stress and aggravation and low pay, who's happy to have at their stage of business that group. but I'm turning it down. So there was a time where I'd say yes to every single opportunity, and that would suck up all of my time away from the profitable opportunities. So you have to think about things like that. Build a reputation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm making sure that we've got the space for that, which is why I actually go through in my calendar, months and years ahead of time, and I block out the time for the space that I know is important to me, like things like the Marketers Cruise.
At the bottom of this list, Molly, it says
Yes.
create a give first network that keeps generating momentum. On my cruises, particularly the Marketers Cruise, people have an opportunity when they put a listing in on directory to add a gift of value that they would normally charge for and give it to everybody so that they're over delivering, so that people will want to do business with them. And again, give first before asking, and it'll come back to you tenfold. So I said, go where you're celebrated, not merely tolerated. The proposal reversal lets you carefully choose your partners and clients. You could see an example on my main business, which is specialeventsatSea.com, where people with audiences can fill out a questionnaire that qualifies them, takes them to a next step, to a 20-minute strategy session with me on Calendly. I see who they are, what they're looking to do, kind of like a Shark Tank thing, and what small or big audience they have, whether they've ever cruised before. So I'm qualifying them before I even ever speak to them. And then they have to set up an appointment to get part of my time for a strategy session. And guess what? I'm not sending them a quote on a group cruise. They're pitching me on their idea for the project. And I can say, let's see if we're a match or not. So the ball is in my court. And you guys can just use this proposal reversal strategy for any business that you have, for clients, for partnerships. So you can sift and sort what's the right match for your valuable and precious time remaining on Earth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And this is a great thing to have before you go to events. It's a great thing to have on your website as it is right now. It's, knowing what those partnerships are. Like we always do this exercise on what would you love. If you don't know what you would love in a great partner also, that's a hard way to make a decision and know who to say yes to and know who to say no to. Can also be a tricky thing. I know we've got some people who had plans to hop off because of how long we had scheduled for everybody today, and I can stay on a little bit more, but I want to make sure we tell people how they can join us also on the Marketers Cruise. Will you tell us about that too?
Let's see. Maybe I'll just have to send everybody the slides. I only have about 192 more points of very relevant information here. We didn't talk about setting your financial thermostat.
Yeah, we talked about that too in the beginning, right? When we talked about but the money growing on trees and all of that. I love it. We got to make sure that we're ready for opening up that success. It's so true.
So everybody take a picture of this screen right now. Screenshot this. Next. This has only taken me a lifetime to figure this stuff out,
I
folks.
know.
Your 30-day AI 2.0 action plan, turn interaction and into intentional momentum. Take a picture of this because this will be a half hour just on this.
I love it. It looks good. And what we'll do also for everybody, we'll take, Lou, if you'll be open to sharing these slides, I love to put together show notes. So just drop the word note in the chat, whether you're on Zoom or here on YouTube also. And we'll get these notes out together for everybody, Lou, and we'll get them usually done within the week. So we'd love to do that too.
Awesome. I wanted to, not just talking about the cruise. I wanted to give you actionable advice and information. It's only taken me forever to figure out myself.
I love it.
So here you go. Lots of content. And the future of business isn't just artificial. It's relational. It's collaborative. It's intentional. AI 2.0 means actual interaction to create partnerships, create leverage, and create freedom, which I think is what we're all looking for here, is it not?
Yes.
So on that, I earned the right to talk a little bit about our special invitation, Molly.
Do you guys want to know about how you can hang out with Lou and I on the Marketers Cruise too?
Now, we don't get a lot of yeses. I'm just going to go and...
We got some yes. We got some bring it. We got some magic. And I actually was just talking to Tim behind the scenes, and I have an idea that I didn't even tell you about that I would love to share also, if that would be okay. Not
Yeah.
yet. You go first, and then I'll share mine.
Well, okay. So here's my warm invitation that you now know, of course, that there is a place where you can relax, network, JV, and brainstorm for 8 days straight on sun-drenched Caribbean islands with people like my partner, Mike Fulsame, Tom Beal. Who's this? Molly Mahoney. Never heard of her. Kim with blah, 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 Larry's. All of these
I'm going to see
folks.
Kim and Justin tonight, which is, I've known Justin and Kim both for a long time, but we got to spend so much time together on the cruise. So not tonight. Tomorrow night, I'm going to dinner with them. So, partly thanks to you for forcing us to be together on a ship for the past, for 7 days, which was awesome.
Say hi, say hello to them.
I will.
We paid big money to see Justin as the lead on Broadway in the Britney Spears musical.
Yes.
To go.
So good.
So, okay. So blah, blah, blah. And 400 6, 7, and 8-figure online entrepreneurs. That's the room I hope that you'll join us in, and this is AI Lifestyle 2.0, where the amazing 20th annual Mastermind Vacation happens this coming January 31st to February 7th, sailing round trip from Port Canaveral, that's in Florida. So you fly into Orlando to this Celebration Key in the Bahamas, Cozumel, Mexico, and Isla Tropical, Roatan, which is a beautiful island off the coast of Honduras. Our milestone 20th annual cruise, which is now 80% sold out, so you got to get you guys in, is aboard the Italian-inspired ship called the Venezia. I have a story about the ship, but we have no time to tell it. I'll tell you on board. And we'll be celebrating living the laptop AI lifestyle 3.0, where if you have an idea, if you have a laptop, an idea with legs, or a smartphone or whatever, and a good idea, and Molly with you, life can be a vacation. So this year, here's where we're going quickly from Port Canaveral pre-party cruise at our outrageous welcome networking party at the Hilton Cocoa Beach. Then we go to the Bahamas, a beautiful Celebration Key at Grand Bahama. I was there for a little preview. It's amazing. Beach party day. And yes, you can snorkel with giant turtles in Cozumel, Mexico, or take a ferry over to Playa del Carmen. They now have a built-up cruise center at Roatan where you can go water slides and zip lining and so much fun, as well as touring the entire island. I am racing through this because I wanted to over-deliver content, but you don't want to miss Roatan with us, and you don't want to miss the Serenity Deck as part of our 3 luxurious days at sea when we're not visiting these beautiful islands. And that's where the magic happens, the business building masterminds, networking parties. And Molly, can you give them 30 seconds on what in the world is pizza and profits?
It is awesome. So there's all these pockets of space on the ship where people come together, they share value, they share strategies, they share connections. And the pizza deck on these ships, oh my gosh, I have been on so many different cruise lines, by the way, and everything from Disney to, I just went on a celebrity cruise. I used to be a singer for celebrity cruises. Nothing beats the pizza on these ships. It is the best pizza, better than anywhere else. I love it. It's like, it's perfect pizza.
So VIP can mean a vacation in paradise. It could also mean a vacation integrated with profit. So, there's Tom Beal. St. Thomas Beal will be back co-emceeing and co-hosting with the wonderful Molly. There I am at the buffet. Oh my goodness, what is that I'm eating?
Turkey leg or something? I don't know.
I don't know. I think I may have broken a tooth on that one. And there you have a little inner circle mastermind in a perfect little paradise corner of the ship. How nice is that? So you can't do this at a land seminar at a stuffy hotel conference room. This, I'm very, very proud of what I do. And I love sharing this with you. There is a video. I'm not going to spend the 4 minutes showing it to you right now because we're running out of time, but you can go to marketerscruise.com and watch this video, and you'll see.
Hey, this is Captain Lou, producer,
that
planner
little
of the
4-minute
amazing
teaser
annual...
video that pretty much tells you.
Hey, and we actually decided this year we're going to do something special for Marketers Cruise also, and we didn't do this last year. So I think this year, now that I understand what the emceeing takes, like what it's going to take. Last year I was a little nervous because I didn't know what was happening MC wise. But a couple years ago, we did something where we did our own private meetup for the people that came in through our referral, through our partnership. And I'm going to do that again this year. So we're going to do two things, Lou, for our members. We're going to do one meetup while we're on the ship where we'll be going deep into AI strategies. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to cover because everything in the world of AI will have changed by then, but we'll do something that is super relevant just for the people who have come in through us and for our members, because I know some of our paying members are already their own leaders in their own right on the ship. So for our members on the ship, we will be doing something, a special meetup just for you guys. And then I'm also going to do a training beforehand just for the people who are going on the cruise with us. So that's two bonus trainings that we're going to throw in as a part of this too, which I'm really excited about.
I love it. I love it. So, we'll tell you how to be part of Molly's inner circle aboard the ship. So if the cruise isn't until January 31st, why are we talking about this now? 378 of our friends have already reserved the next cruise, most of them before even getting off the last cruise in January. All of the Grand and Ocean suites are gone. Balcony staterooms are selling out fast. And you really want at least a balcony ocean view. The ship is about 75% sold out now, many months in advance. And so, there are events that I've been involved with that where people pay $15, $10, $8,000 for access for the type of mastermind experience that we're talking about here. But Mike and I agreed early on, I'm talking about Mike Filsame, that's still my partner on the Marketers Cruise. As our give back, the marketing community has done so much for us. We are still, after all these years, and this will be the last year we do this, where we're keeping it very close to our costs. $1,299 to $1,649, depending upon cabin. Not per day, but for the entire full week Marketers Cruise experience. That's insane. And so what does that include? Well, it includes everything. Everything.
Cuckoo.
Everything. Look, it includes that and that and that and that and that.
Okay, let's say them out loud because we do have some members actually who in our community who need a little support on the visuals of seeing things, just so you know.
All right, Molly, help me out here.
So the 7 days and nights aboard the Italian-inspired Venezia, visiting 3 exotic destinations. It includes your cabin on board. It includes up to 8 gourmet meals daily, which is insane. So, unlimited food, because that's what happens on these cruise ships. Entertainment nightly. The shows are so fun, so awesome. And that's not just like the regular cruise ship type shows. There's like comedians and bingo and all kinds of things. If you've never been on a cruise, I'm obsessed with cruises. Also, all of our mastermind sessions. So the balance of this is so great on this cruise, where there is a balance between the sessions where we are all in on those sessions. And obviously Lou and I will be at every single one. And then there's also so much time to be able to connect with others as well. All port charges, fees, taxes, government fees, all of that. And you get a cruise. So the content, this is actually something I want to throw in as a bonus, is content creation sessions while we're on the ship. So we'll do one day where we go out and create content together. It's something that is really hard to teach online. So one of those sessions that I talked about, that's what we will do. It is awesome. Okay, continue on with this magic, Lou.
No, go ahead, Molly. You're on a run. You're on a roll.
Prepaid gratuities. I didn't even know that was part of this. Also, meet your shipmates in the private Facebook community. So I love this Facebook community. It is awesome. Bev, you've never been on a cruise? Dude, you've got to join us on this. Okay, continue, Lou.
So here's how to 10x. How much is this going to cost me to go on this cruise? Well, we already said it's like ridiculously affordable. And we kept this affordable so that everyone at all levels of success and trajectory can join us, because you still have to fly there unless you live nearby.
Right. That's the only thing we're not including. We're not including your flight. And I say we as if it's, but so the thing that's not included is the flight and the hotel. If you end up staying in a hotel the night before, like that's not included, but everything else, it's wild.
But, first of all, at the 12.99 to 16.49, whatever it is, it might, at those prices, it might cost you more just to stay home. But forget about the cost. It's how do you 10x your ROI on the cost of joining us by day 3 while on vacation? So I know we're going to run about 5 minutes over, but this is very important. Oh, there's the original picture. There's the original picture. The Marketer's Cruise also includes stage time for every one of our guests, as Molly and I discussed earlier. So be ready with your 30-second elevator pitch and to come back several times more to contribute. Well, what do I have to contribute? You will see.
And I actually made an app that writes your 30-second elevator speech for you. So I'll give you that too.
So wait a minute, Molly, Molly's got the cheat sheet. You're going to help them cheat on the elevator pitch?
I will.
Oh my, I don't know. Is that good? Okay, fine. And they can tweak, just like I tweaked those previous slides that ChatGPT gave me.
Yes.
So the Marketer's Cruise also includes a full page about you in our printed directory, so that when you get up on stage and do your elevator speech, people will turn to your page, see you, read about you, website and contact info, gift of value if you'd like to include that. And they'll make little notes in the margin of when they'd like to meet you to discuss possibilities. And that's
People are obsessed with these things. They're like crazy taking notes. It's so awesome. I love it.
And that's the pull marketing. So instead of you having to chase people down the hall, people will look to meet with you because something you said and that you're doing resonates with them, not with everyone, but with them. And that's where people during the course of a week find you to sit down, have a snack and start the conversation. This is very powerful networking. And it also includes, as I hinted at about before, Molly's experienced it several times, thousands of dollars in valuable gifts, trainings, software from your colleagues and maybe potential JV partners. So that alone is worth 20 times the cost of the cruise in the trainings and the free gifts that you'll get. So it's a no-brainer. And my newest pre-cruise primer book, Just Add Marketers, how to plug in, profit, partner and profit while playing at sea with the world's top marketers. So you could get prepared to be on the same page with your messaging. So you have the message to market match that you need instead of just showing up like a deer in the headlights. Maybe Molly felt a little bit like that deer on cruise number 1, right?
Oh my gosh, I did. But I'm so grateful for your help and support.
Absolutely. Children are welcome. They will have a blast. Only this Camp Carnival. Look, there's the water slides. And they have,
my kids have been on this several times, actually. So they've learned so much too.
What do they have there?
Oh my gosh, it's like heaven.
Pizza parties, scavenger hunts, computer learning, preteen disco, different age groups, and Camp Carnival is absolutely awesome. Look at those water slides. And only $599 to add a third or fourth person to your cabin. That's for the whole week, including everything, taxes, everything. It's amazing. So question is, will you be having breakfast on your balcony overlooking the ocean? Or will Molly and I be sending you a postcard from paradise this coming January and February? Folks, this is going to sound a little salesy like the old Captain Lou. You've come this far. Why not go all the way? There we are. This was like how many years ago when we were young? Look at this guy in the hot tub.
I know.
So, got to be in the right room and got to be in the group photo. Right now, you can still claim one of the best remaining rooms with just a $500 per cabin deposit and then pay the balance end of September. If you're watching this back later and it's already September, payment will be due in full by next month from when we're recording this, because we're finalizing the group in the next few weeks. But that's not bad. $500 deposit, the balance in a month. And imagine if all that happens when you join us on the Marketers Cruise. Molly, I learned this part from Dave Van Hoos of Speaking Empire. I got to give him credit. Imagine, it's future pacing. It's framing and future pacing, folks. if all that, see, I'm revealing, I'm telling on myself. If all that happens is you have a great fun-filled vacation with family and friends who share your interests, would that be worth joining us on the cruise? Type yes in the chat box right now. And imagine if all that happens is that you forge true friendships with the most brilliant marketing minds on the planet. And that leads to some top-level joint ventures, as it did for me way back. Would that be worth joining us on the cruise? Type yes, please, in the chat box. And imagine if all that happens is the one relationship or one idea that helps take your online business to a 6-figure, 7 or 8-figure empire. Would that be worth joining us on the cruise? Folks, we've created close to $750 million in such joint ventures. Yes, joint ventures, JVs on the Marketers Cruise. And we've changed lives as it's done for this life right here. So we're warmly inviting you to join us in Molly's VIP cruise group this January. Don't miss the boat. And what you do.
Aruba, Jamaica,
What? Do we have a soundtrack here? How do I stop the audio?
I know, but I love it. So good.
Not bad whipping this together, right? So you can claim one of the few remaining cabins with your small deposit by reserving at marketerscruise.com. You click through to see the cabin availability, and then there'll be a drop-down menu that gives a long list of people that love us and are referring others to us. And it's in alphabetical order. So you're going to look for someone named Molly Mahoney.
That's me.
And you're going to say invited by Molly Mahoney so that A, we can credit her in all transparency as a leader, but also to be in those special bonus VIP masterminds that Molly just talked about. So I went way over, rushed through some slides. We'll send you the slide deck. We'll send you the show notes. But honestly, if you can at all make this happen.
And we've got some really good questions actually coming in. So if you do you have time to stay on just for a few questions?
I'll stay on.
Okay,
as long
amazing.
as you stay
Thank
on.
you
I know
so
you have
much for
one.
all of this. I
Okay,
think
yes.
there really is such an art to be able to develop partnerships and relationships like this. And I think you and I are so on the same page in the way that we intrinsically do this, and then also through ways that we've learned these things from other people. So thank you. I see that there's a great question from Bonnie. So Bonnie and Elizabeth are members of our community. They are amazing. And if they want to do this and have their, like where they're sharing a cabin for the deposit that they're putting down today, can they book one person to put the 500 down, or do they need to book 2 spots?
So there's an area on the order page, on the reservation page, that says half cabin splitting costs evenly. You can go and book half the cabin for now. Don't book anything less than a balcony cabin because almost no one wants to share an inside windowless cabin. And then you have a month to come up with a roomie of your choosing that you might be compatible with. And if you don't or unable to, you could ask us for our help, but we would like for you to have the first right of refusal of your choice for someone to join you. Does that make sense? So go ahead and throw. Okay, and that's that. Go on.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, and then Dottie had a question too about spouses. So she's asking if the spouses pay the same rate. They do pay the same rate. And like Nancy has brought her husband on. Nancy is coming with Wayne, her husband, this time. My husband comes on. Andy and his whole family came. So Andy Klepner, who also jumped in and helped us with the AV last year. It was an extravaganza. Andy, his wife, and his 2 kids came. Can you just explain how it works for the rates? Because you're not actually paying for extra, like, stuff with us.
We did not want to have the +1 haves and the have-nots. We didn't want to have the spouses or friends or family members be extricated from all of our events, parties, networking dinners, mastermind sessions if they want to join. And feel like, oh, well, my partner is the marketer and I have to go find something else to do. So we just It's a per person price, and it includes access. We don't raise the rates on the children, of course, third and fourth rate. We added in event fees that cover our costs of producing the event, and everything's optional. The only thing that's mandatory is for you guys to have fun. So we warmly welcome your spouse, your mom, your dad, your neighbor to come and join you at all of our private parties, all of our like late night karaoke, the networking dinners. We don't want to put them in a separate dining room, all the special things we have planned, and the optional business building sessions. If they don't want to attend that with you, that's fine, but they should really be there to support you and not feel like an outsider. So that's the price per person, and we kind of amortize it so it'd be reasonable for all.
Which is awesome. Okay, Alan asks a great question about the day's schedules. Is it just 9 to 5 session and then after that just mingle? Oh no, friend. It is like so awesome the way that it is all set up. So it's mixed in with what's happening on the ship to make sure if you wanted to go to certain things on the ship, there's never a conflict with that. There's not a conflict, with things in port and stuff like that either. There's several different sessions that are repeat sessions that are things like, there's one day, which I know sounds insane, but it is actually so awesome. And it reminds me kind of our selfie trains. So in our community, Lou, no matter how many people show up at these events, we do a selfie train where every single person gets a selfie with every other person at the event. It gets wild. It's so awesome. So what Lou does, and the first time I saw this, I was like, oh, this is crazy, but it's so good. It's one of my favorite things. Every single person, I mean, like 300, 400 people all get a chance to get on the mic and introduce themselves, and everybody stays in the room for it. It's so good. So this is one of the first sessions. Everybody has that big book and they're taking notes. I love learning from the way that other people do their introductions. You will hear really awesome introductions, and Lou, close your ears, but you will also hear some really bad introductions. Like you will hear, there was one time, and like we're so good at cheering each other on, but I will tell you also, if you are getting pitchy, they are going to throw you off that stage, because people, if you go over your time, or if you take all your time like introducing your beautiful spouse or whatever who's in the room, that is a part of your time, and you will get kicked off the stage because everyone in the group will be like, no pitching allowed. No, you can't. Like it's awesome. There's also the people. So the way that it works, because Dottie had asked, like, is this your link, Molly, or is this the normal website link? So Lou does this in a way that I think is also really great for everybody to see as a partnership strategy. A lot of people are waiting and looking for a system to set up their affiliates, but then, iPhones don't always track properly and all of that. So Lou goes for this no tech version of this that I love, or low tech. And what it is you just select from the drop down menu. So there's no mistaking where people came from. There's one person that you're being referred by, and that's how they track it, which is awesome. And then as soon as you sign up for the cruise also, what happens is when you bring people onto the ship, you get stage time. So all the speakers are group leaders. And so, that's how I ended up first getting stage time, was that I brought friends and team members on the ship. And that's how I got awarded the #1 presentation on the ship, which was so fun and so awesome.
Yes. Award winner, best presentation out of about 14 speakers.
It was
Molly
awesome.
Mahoney.
It was so
Amazing.
good. But all of that is because it's not like some big money making thing where you make more money depending on more people you bring on and all of that. It really is that you get more stage time. So
Right.
It's awesome. And excuse me. And so you've got these sessions. You also have one of my favorite things on the ship. Alan, I'm saying all this because of your question. But one of my favorite things on the ship is this tool time. And so the first 2 years, I think I didn't actually bring people on the first 2 years just because life was lifing and all the things. But what I did is during that tool time, I have so many things that I love to share, as you know. So I would just go share my favorite tools, not promoting my own stuff, sharing tools that I love. And then I'd go get back in line, share a tool that I love, go get back in line, share another tool. So that's a really great way to be able to ask, how can I help, to be able to give more and also get more visibility. So that's just some of the things that are planned. It's awesome.
Great questions.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my gosh, I have another call in just a little bit. So we've got to wrap up. Let me just look at YouTube because we had some good questions coming in over here. which was someone actually said that they had met you back during they bought your Just Add Water program in 2008.
Wow.
Which is amazing.
Wow.
So good.
Oh,
I love it.
amazing.
Okay, y'all, and Bev is so great. Bev says they don't call you the prepared performer for no reason. That is true. And my commitment to you is that you will be prepared if you join us on this cruise also.
Well, if you guys are coming through Molly, I know you will be prepared because Molly is just absolutely awesome on that.
I love it. And we get to have dinner like every night. It's so good.
Absolutely.
I love it. Lou, thank you so much for being here with us for this session. I just think it's going to be so helpful. We will get those show notes together as well. You guys can go to marketerscruise.com in order to make that happen. Lou, I see a face now. We're here face to face. You guys, thank you so much. I'm going to take us off of Spotlight so that we can celebrate and see all of your faces as we are doing this as well. Thank you all
Molly
so much.
And everyone on board on the Zoom today. Guys, thank you so much for bearing with me and us and allowing me to share some of the brain trust with you and the invitation to join us. And I want to say, let's not be two ships passing in the night. See you on the Libido. I mean, the Lido deck.
Oh my God. Okay, and now you get just the sneak peek of Lou and my vaudeville show. So there you go. Bum. All right. I did bust out some tap dancing on the last ship also because we had one speaker who had a hard time recognizing it was time to leave the stage. So I decided to
but you know what? It's time for me to leave the stage. I need you to get up right now, Molly, and do some tap dancing.
I do have a full tap floor behind me now, but my shoes, look, my tap shoes are right here. So there you go. All right, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you guys so much. So good to see you. Multiply members, it's so awesome to have you join us here. Other Content Club and AI Stars members, good to see you guys too. Remember that we do have, obviously our Multiply call happens every week, but we have the AI Stars call later this week too, and we're going to be doing AI dashboards. So watch out, world. It's going to be awesome. Okay, I love you guys. So good to see you. And Captain Lou, thanks so much. Yay! We will talk.